Daniel pressed his forehead against the cool desk surface and groaned softly. Another deadline. Another impossible task. Another reason to question why he chose marketing as his career. "You can do this," he whispered to himself. "Just imagine Marcus smiling at you when you finish. Imagine him saying you did a great job. Imagine him leaning close and..." His phone buzzed. An email from the man himself. "Report needed by 5 p.m. Thanks, Marcus." Daniel's heart did that stupid flutter thing it always did. Marcus Chen was everything Daniel wasn't. Confident where Daniel stumbled over words. Composed where Daniel spilled coffee on important documents. Tall and elegant where Daniel was average and awkward. For 6 months, Daniel had worked at Apex Marketing. For 6 months, he had harbored the most ridiculous crush on his boss. And for 6 months, he had used elaborate fantasies to push through difficult tasks. "Okay, brain," Daniel muttered, pulling up the spreadsheet. "Fantasy time." Marcus walks in, sees this amazing report, and tells me I'm brilliant. Then he invites me to dinner. Then we talk about books and movies, and he laughs at my jokes, and... Daniel jumped so hard his knee hit the desk. Marcus stood 3 feet away, eyebrow raised, looking annoyingly perfect in his navy suit. "Yes, sir?" "Are you talking to yourself?" "Just motivating myself, sir." Marcus's expression flickered with something Daniel couldn't read, almost like amusement mixed with discomfort. "I see, we'll carry on." As Marcus walked away, Daniel buried his face in his hands. Great. Now his boss thought he was weird. He returned to his report, diving back into his fantasy world where Marcus didn't think he was a complete disaster. "Focus," Daniel told himself. Imagine Marcus reading this report and being so impressed. He finally notices you as more than just the guy who fixes the printer. What Daniel didn't know was that Marcus had stopped just outside the office door, his hand pressed against his temple, his face flushed red, because Marcus could hear every single word. 3 days earlier, Marcus had been different, normal, human, unable to hear the thoughts of everyone around him like some cursed radio station that never turned off. Then came the accident, the strange meteor shower, the hospital visit where doctors found nothing wrong despite the splitting headache, and then the voices. At first, Marcus thought he was losing his mind, his assistant thinking about her grocery list, the intern worrying about student loans, random thoughts from strangers on the street, an overwhelming flood of mental noise. But Daniel's thoughts, those were different, loud, vivid, and deeply, mortifyingly focused on Marcus himself. "Okay, this is fine," Marcus muttered in his office, door locked, blinds drawn. "He doesn't know I can hear him. I just need to figure out how to turn this off." He had tried everything, on meditation, sleeping pills, standing in the server room where the electrical interference might block signals. Nothing worked, and Daniel's fantasies kept coming. Imagine Marcus taking off his tie and stop. Imagine slow dancing with Marcus while... Please stop. Imagine Marcus pinning me against... Oh God, make it stop. The worst part. Marcus had always thought Daniel was cute. The way he bit his lip when concentrating, how he brought extra coffee for the team on Monday mornings, his genuine kindness when helping struggling colleagues. But Marcus was his boss. There were rules, professional boundaries. He had convinced himself to ignore his own growing feelings. Now, hearing Daniel's every thought about him, those boundaries were crumbling fast. "I need help," Marcus decided, grabbing his phone. He called the one person who might believe him. His sister, Dr. Maya Chen, a neurologist with an open mind. "You're telling me you can read minds?" Maya asked over video call. "Yes." "Since when?" "Since the meteor shower." "Maya, I'm serious. I can prove it." "Ask your nurse what she's thinking right now." Maya left the frame. Marcus heard muffled voices. When she returned, her face was pale. She was thinking about her daughter's birthday party. The purple decorations. How did you... I don't know. "But Maya, there's this guy at work, and he thinks about me constantly, and I can hear everything, and I don't know what to do." Maya was quiet for a moment. "What kind of thoughts?" Marcus's ears burned. "Romantic. Very romantic. Sometimes a bit beyond romantic, but nothing too graphic. It's like he uses fantasies of us together to motivate himself through work tasks." "And how do you feel about him?" "That's not the point." "Marcus, how do you feel about him?" Marcus closed his eyes. "I like him. I've liked him for months, but he's my employee. And even if that wasn't an issue, how do I approach someone when I've been involuntarily invading their privacy?" "First," Maya said gently, "we figure out if this is permanent. Second, if it is, you need to tell him. He deserves to know. Tell him I've been listening to his every private thought. That'll go well. Better than the alternative. What if he confesses his feelings someday, not knowing you already know everything? That's a lie by omission." Marcus groaned. Maya was right. She was always right. This is a nightmare. Or, Maya said with a small smile, "it's an opportunity. When do you ever really know if someone's feelings are genuine? You have certainty. Most people would kill for that. Most people haven't heard someone fantasize about them while filing TPS reports." Maya laughed. "Fair point. But Marcus, if his feelings are real and yours are too, you'll figure it out." After the call ended, Marcus sat in darkness. Through the wall, he could hear Daniel's thoughts again. "If Marcus smiled at me the way he smiles at clients, I think I'd die happy. Why do I have to be so obvious? He probably thinks I'm pathetic." "I don't think you're pathetic," Marcus whispered to the empty room. "I think you're brave. Braver than me." He had 1 week to find a solution. 1 week before he'd have to tell Daniel the truth. He just hoped Daniel wouldn't hate him for it. Daniel was having the worst week of his life. First, he spilled an entire pot of coffee on himself during the Monday meeting, while fantasizing about Marcus helping him clean up. Marcus had, in fact, helped him clean up, which only made Daniel fantasize more, which made him more embarrassed, which created a vicious cycle of mortification. Second, he accidentally sent Marcus a draft email that began, "Dear Marcus, I hope this message finds you well, and also you should know your smile makes my entire day better," and before Daniel had frantically deleted it, he'd sent the professional version immediately after, hands shaking. Marcus had replied with a simple, "Thanks," which Daniel had analyzed for 17 minutes. Third, and most disturbing, Marcus had started acting weird. He'd catch the man staring at him with this intense, unreadable expression. During a team meeting, when Daniel had mentally commented that Marcus's new haircut made him look like a drama lead, Marcus had actually touched his hair and looked away quickly. It was probably coincidence. Definitely coincidence. Daniel was just being paranoid. "You're spiraling," his best friend Jamie said over lunch. Jamie worked in accounting 2 floors down and had endured 6 months of Daniel's Marcus-related pining. "He's your boss. He's probably just stressed." But what if I've been too obvious? Daniel pushed his rice around his plate. What if he knows I have a crush on him and he's trying to figure out how to let me down gently? Or report me to HR? HR can't fire you for having thoughts. That's not how jobs work. What if I'm making him uncomfortable? Jamie grabbed Daniel's hand across the table. Listen to me. You're a good person. You work hard. You've never acted inappropriately toward him. Having a crush isn't a crime. If he has a problem with you, that's his issue to raise, not yours to spiral about. Daniel nodded slowly. Jamie was right. He needed to calm down and act professional. No more fantasies, no more daydreaming, just work. That resolution lasted approximately 4 hours. Daniel, can you stay late tonight? Marcus asked at 4:30 p.m. I need help with the Peterson presentation. Daniel's brain immediately supplied. Alone with Marcus. Just us, in the quiet office. Maybe we'll order dinner. Maybe our hands will touch reaching for the same document. Maybe. Daniel? Yes, of course. Happy to help. Marcus's jaw tightened. Great. Thank you. By 7 p.m., the office was empty except for them. The cleaning crew had come and gone. The city lights twinkled outside the floor-to-ceiling windows. It was romantic in the worst possible way because Daniel couldn't afford to think romantic thoughts. So the Peterson account wants a complete rebrand, Marcus explained, pulling up slides on his laptop. He sat next to Daniel at the conference table, close enough that Daniel could smell his cologne. Cedar and something citrus. Professional, expensive, perfect. Don't think about how good he smells. Don't think about it. Don't. Marcus suddenly stood, nearly knocking over his chair. I need water. Do you want water? Sure. While Marcus was gone, Daniel gave himself a stern talking to. You are a professional. You can sit next to an attractive man without being weird about it. Just focus on work. Only work. Nothing but... Here. Marcus returned with 2 bottles, his expression tense. They worked in silence for 20 minutes. Daniel was actually succeeding at keeping his thoughts professional, until Marcus leaned over to point at something on screen, and his shoulder brushed Daniel's, and Daniel's brain completely betrayed him. God, he's so close. I could just turn my head and we'd be inches apart. I wonder if he'd be surprised if I kissed him. Probably shocked. Definitely shocked. He'd probably recoil in horror. But what if he didn't? What if he... Marcus stood abruptly. We should take a break. Oh, okay. Marcus walked to the windows, hands in his pockets, posture rigid. Daniel felt a knot form in his stomach. Something was definitely wrong. Marcus? Did I do something to upset you? No. The word came out strained. You didn't do anything wrong. Then why have you been acting strange all week? Marcus turned to face him, and Daniel's breath caught. The man looked conflicted, almost pained. His usual composure cracked. Daniel, I need to tell you something. Something impossible. Something that's going to sound completely insane. Daniel's heart pounded. Okay. And after I tell you, if you want to request a transfer, or quit, or never speak to me again, I'll understand completely. I'll even write you the best recommendation letter you've ever seen. You're scaring me. Marcus took a deep breath. A week ago, something happened to me. After the meteor shower. I went to the hospital with headaches, and when I left, I was different. Daniel, I can hear people's thoughts. All of them. Constantly. Like radio stations I can't turn off. Daniel blinked. Oh, thoughts. You can hear thoughts. I know how it sounds. That's... Daniel's mind raced. Thoughts. Hear thoughts. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. That's impossible. You're thinking, oh no, over and over. You're realizing that if I can hear thoughts, I've heard yours. You're currently spiraling through memories of every time you've thought about me this week. The blood drained from Daniel's face. Every fantasy. Every daydream. Every single embarrassing, romantic, sometimes slightly suggestive thought he'd ever had about Marcus. All of them. Marcus had heard all of them. I'm going to be sick, Daniel whispered. Please don't be sick. I should have told you sooner. I'm sorry. I didn't know how. Daniel stood on shaky legs. You heard everything. The coffee shop fantasy. The rainy day umbrella scenario. The one where we're on a beach. The one where you read poetry to me. Yes. Oh, God. Daniel covered his face with his hands. I need to quit. I need to move to another country. I need to fake my own death. Daniel, you must think I'm such a creep. I'm so sorry. I never meant to make you uncomfortable. I'll transfer departments. I'll leave. Just please don't tell anyone. Please. Daniel, stop. Marcus's voice was firm. He crossed the room and gently pulled Daniel's hands away from his face. Look at me. Daniel forced himself to meet Marcus's eyes, his own burning with tears of humiliation. You're not a creep, Marcus said softly. Your thoughts were never inappropriate. They were sweet, hopeful, romantic. And Daniel, here's the part that's going to sound even more impossible than the telepathy. What? Daniel's voice cracked. I like you too. The world tilted. What? I've liked you for months. Since you stayed late to help me with the Simmons account, even though you had food poisoning. Since you defended the intern from that difficult client. Since I realized you were kind and funny and genuine. But you're my employee, and I convinced myself it was inappropriate. Daniel's thoughts were a jumbled mess of disbelief and hope, and he knew Marcus could hear all of it. You like me? Yes. Even after hearing all my ridiculous fantasies? Marcus's lips quirked into a small smile, especially after hearing those. Though I have to admit, the one where we solve a murder mystery together was unexpected. Despite everything, Daniel laughed weakly. I was watching crime shows that week. They stood close, hands still connected, the confession hanging between them. So what happens now? Daniel asked quietly. Now, Marcus said, we figure this out together, if you want to. If you can forgive me for not telling you sooner. Daniel's practical side knew this was complicated. His boss could read his mind. Every private thought was exposed. But his heart, his ridiculous optimistic heart, was screaming that Marcus liked him back. I don't know how to feel about the telepathy thing, Daniel admitted. It's terrifying. But Marcus, I've imagined 1,000 conversations where I tell you how I feel, and in none of them did you actually like me back. So this is better than every fantasy I ever had. Marcus smiled, real and warm, and Daniel's heart soared. Though, Daniel added, you're going to have to stop listening to my thoughts eventually. A guy needs some privacy. I'm working on it. My sister is helping, but until then, I'll do my best to give you mental space. Good, because I'm going to think about this moment for at least 3 weeks straight, and that's going to be embarrassing for both of us. Marcus laughed, the sound rich and genuine. I look forward to it. Dating someone who could read your mind was, Daniel discovered, incredibly weird. We're not dating, Marcus corrected the next morning, when they met privately before work hours. Not officially. Not while you report to me. Right. So what are we doing? Navigating a complicated situation ethically. Daniel sipped his coffee. They'd met at a small cafe 3 blocks from the office, early enough that no colleagues would spot them. I've been thinking. I know, Marcus said, then winced. Sorry, that's going to take getting used to. For both of us. About transferring to a different team, Daniel finished. Then there's no conflict of interest. Marcus set down his cup. I can't ask you to do that. Your career path is in marketing. My team has the best projects. But I want to. If it means we can actually try this thing between us without worrying about ethics violations or HR. Daniel, Marcus, I've spent 6 months fantasizing about you. Now I have a chance at making it real. I'm not letting corporate structure ruin that. Marcus's expression softened. You're sure? Completely. Though I'm requesting to join Sarah's team, not Brad's. Brad micromanages and I'll lose my mind. Sarah's team is good, Marcus agreed. Then, hesitantly, he reached across the table and took Daniel's hand. This is new for me. I've never dated someone from work, even after they transfer. I've never had feelings this strong. And I've definitely never been able to hear someone's every thought about me. Is it overwhelming, hearing my thoughts? Sometimes. But Daniel, your mind is beautiful. You notice things other people miss. You care deeply about everyone around you. And yes, you think about me a lot, but you also think about your sister's wedding plans and your neighbor's cat, and whether the subway busker from this morning will make it as a musician. You're endlessly curious and kind. Daniel felt his cheeks heat. You're making me sound better than I am. I'm hearing your actual thoughts. I know exactly who you are. That statement landed heavily between them. Marcus knew everything. All of Daniel's insecurities, his fears, his hopes, the anxiety he felt about his appearance, the way he worried about being boring, his dream of writing a novel someday but being too scared to start. It's intimate, Daniel said quietly. More intimate than I've been with anyone. I know. And if it's too much, tell me. We can slow down. Well, and we can wait until I figure out how to turn this off. Daniel squeezed Marcus's hand. What if you never figure it out? Then I'll learn to control it better. Give you privacy. My sister thinks with practice, I might be able to filter or block thoughts voluntarily. And if you can't? Marcus met his eyes seriously. Then I'll understand if you can't be with someone who has constant access to your innermost self. That's not a small thing to ask of someone. Daniel thought about it, really thought about it, knowing Marcus would hear every uncertainty. I'm scared, he admitted. This is terrifying. But Marcus, I've wanted to know you for months. Really know you. And this means you really know me. Maybe that's not such a bad thing. You're extraordinary, Marcus said softly. Stop reading my mind and kiss me. We're in public. Then think about kissing me, and I'll think about it too, and we'll have a telepathic moment. Marcus laughed, the sound warm. This is not how telepathy works. You don't know that. You've had powers for like a week. I could be a latent telepath too. You're definitely not. Rude. They finished their coffee, hands linked across the table, navigating the strange new reality of their relationship. Later that day, Daniel submitted his transfer request. 3 days later, he was officially on Sarah's team. Congratulations on the transfer, Marcus said professionally during a company-wide meeting. Thank you, sir, Daniel replied, matching his tone. Under the table, their feet touched. Daniel thought, I can't wait to actually kiss you. Marcus's ears turned pink. Across the room, their colleague Emma whispered to another co-worker, is it just me, or is there something going on between those two? Daniel's stomach dropped. Marcus's expression remained neutral, but Daniel heard him say in his mind, I'll be more careful. They were going to have to navigate this very carefully indeed. This is a disaster, Daniel muttered, standing in front of his closet in just his boxers. 20 minutes until Marcus arrived to pick him up for their first official date. 3 weeks since Daniel's transfer. 3 weeks of professional distance at work and secret meetings in the evenings. 3 weeks of Marcus slowly getting better at giving Daniel mental privacy. And now finally, a real date. Dinner at an upscale restaurant across town where no colleagues would see them. Daniel had been excited for days, until he realized he had nothing to wear. The blue shirt makes me look washed out. The black one has a stain I can't get out. The gray one is too casual. His phone buzzed. Marcus, I can hear you spiraling from my apartment. Whatever you wear will be fine. Daniel typed back. Stay out of my head. You promised. I'm trying. You're projecting loudly. How do I stop projecting? I don't know. Maybe calm down? Daniel took a deep breath, then another. He settled on a dark green button-down and nice jeans. As he was fixing his hair for the 5th time, his doorbell rang. Marcus stood in the hallway wearing a charcoal suit without the tie, looking unfairly handsome. Hi. Daniel's mouth went dry. You look really good. You look beautiful. I'm wearing jeans. I know, you look beautiful in them. Daniel grabbed his jacket before he could do something stupid like kiss Marcus in the hallway where neighbors might see. Let's go before I lose my nerve. The restaurant was elegant. Soft lighting, white tablecloths, Italian menu that Daniel couldn't pronounce. The host led them to a corner booth, private and intimate. This is fancy, Daniel said, eyeing the menu. Marcus, these prices are fine. Order anything you want. I don't even know what half this stuff is. The pasta dishes are excellent. So is the osso buco. A waiter appeared with water and bread. Daniel was reaching for a piece when he heard Marcus say in his head, Don't panic. Sarah just walked in. 3 tables over. She hasn't seen us yet. Daniel's hand froze. Sarah, his new boss, who definitely couldn't know about him and Marcus yet, because HR was still processing the conflict of interest waiver Marcus had filed. What do we do? Daniel thought hard, hoping Marcus would hear. Act natural. We're former colleagues having dinner. That's not suspicious. Everything about this is suspicious. We're at a romantic restaurant. There's a candle on the table. The waiter returned for their drink order. Marcus ordered wine with impressive calm. Daniel squeaked out a request for water, his voice cracking. She's not looking this way, Marcus said in his mind. She's with her husband. They're focused on each other. Are you sure? I'm reading her thoughts. She's thinking about their anniversary. We're not on her radar. Daniel slowly relaxed. The waiter brought wine. They ordered food. And gradually, Daniel remembered this was supposed to be a date, not a spy mission. Tell me something you've never told anyone, Daniel said, emboldened by half a glass of wine. Marcus considered this. I wanted to be a musician. I played piano through college. Almost applied to music conservatory instead of business school. Really? Why didn't you? Fear, mostly. My parents had expectations. Business was safe. Music felt like a risk I couldn't afford. Do you still play? Sometimes, when no one's around. Daniel leaned forward. Will you play for me sometime? Maybe. Marcus smiled. Your turn. Tell me something I don't know. That's hard when you can read my mind. I've been blocking most of your thoughts lately. I'm getting better at it. Daniel thought hard about what to share. I'm afraid of being ordinary. I look at my life and worry that I'm not interesting enough, smart enough, talented enough, that one day you'll realize you could do better. Marcus's hand found Daniel's across the table. Daniel, I hear hundreds of people's thoughts every day now. Most people's inner monologues are boring, repetitive, shallow. But yours? Your mind is full of stories and questions and empathy. You make the ordinary extraordinary just by noticing it. Don't ever think you're not enough. Daniel's eyes stung. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. It's just the truth. They talked through dinner about Marcus's sister and her research into his telepathy, about Daniel's family and his sister's upcoming wedding, about books and movies and the weird guy who rode the same subway car every morning with a parrot on his shoulder. It was perfect until it wasn't. Dessert arrived, tiramisu to share, and Sarah walked past their table on her way to the restroom. Daniel? Marcus? She stopped, surprised. What a coincidence. Sarah, hi. Daniel's heart hammered. We were just, having dinner. I can see that. Her eyes flicked between them, calculating. Interesting choice for a casual dinner. We're celebrating Daniel's successful transition to your team. Marcus said smoothly. He's been doing excellent work. Has he now? Sarah's smile didn't reach her eyes. Well, don't let me interrupt. Enjoy your celebration. She walked away. Daniel slumped in his seat. She knows. She suspects. What's the difference? We haven't broken any rules. Your transfer was approved. We disclosed our relationship to HR. Everything is by the book. She's going to make things difficult. Marcus squeezed his hand. Then we'll handle it. Together. But when the bill came and Marcus paid, Daniel couldn't shake the feeling that their secret was unraveling faster than they could manage. In the car ride home, Daniel asked, Can you hear what she's thinking right now? No. I can only hear thoughts of people nearby. But you could hear her thoughts in the restaurant. Marcus hesitated. Yes. And? She thinks we're dating. She's annoyed that I didn't tell her directly since you're on her team now. But she's not planning to cause trouble. She's more worried about team dynamics. Great. So my new boss thinks I slept my way onto her team. She doesn't think that. Daniel, I heard her exact thoughts. She respects your work. She just wishes we'd been more upfront. We were literally waiting for HR approval. I know, it's complicated. Daniel leaned his head against the car window. Is this going to work? Us? Do you want it too? Yes, but I'm scared we're going to mess everything up. Your career, my career, our teams. Marcus pulled up outside Daniel's apartment and turned to face him. Listen to me. I have been in love with you since the day you accidentally sent that email draft. The one where you called my smile devastatingly unfair to your concentration. I have been completely gone for you. And yes, this is complicated. Yes, we're going to face challenges. But Daniel, I would rather face them with you than take the easy path without you. Daniel's breath caught. You love me? Of course I love you. How could I not? I've been inside your head. That's creepy when you phrase it like that. You know what I mean. Daniel did know. And despite the disaster with Sarah, despite all the complications, he leaned across the center console and kissed Marcus for the first time. It was soft and sweet and perfect. Marcus's hand came up to cup his face. Daniel's fingers tangled in Marcus's hair. For that moment, nothing else mattered. When they pulled apart, both breathless, Daniel whispered, "I love you too." Marcus smiled, real and bright. "I know. You've been thinking it loudly for the past 10 minutes. Stop reading my mind. Never." They kissed again, laughing, and Daniel thought that maybe complicated was okay. Maybe complicated was worth it. Monday morning arrived with the subtlety of a sledgehammer. Daniel walked into the office to find his desk had been moved. Not to a different floor or room, but physically rotated 90 degrees so he now faced the wall instead of the window. "What the hell?" he muttered. "New team configuration," his teammate Tyler said, not looking up from his screen. "Sarah's orders." Daniel's stomach sank. So this was how it was going to be. The morning continued in the same vein. Sarah assigned him grunt work, data entry, proofreading, tasks an intern could do. During the team meeting, she ignored his raised hand 3 times while calling on everyone else. By lunch, Daniel was fuming. He texted Marcus, "We need to talk." They met in the building's parking garage, far from prying eyes and ears. "She's punishing me," Daniel said without preamble. "Sarah is making my job miserable because we're dating." "I know. I heard her thoughts this morning. She's hurt that we weren't transparent with her from the start. But we were. We followed protocol." Marcus leaned against his car, looking tired. "She feels blindsided. In her mind, she took you onto her team as a favor to me, not knowing we had personal involvement. That's not fair. I earned that spot. I know that. You know that. But Sarah's ego is bruised, and she's taking it out on you." Daniel paced the concrete. "So what do I do? Quit? Transfer again? I can't keep running from this." "You stand your ground. Do the grunt work so well she can't criticize it. Wait for her to calm down. And if she crosses a line, we document it and go to HR. I don't want to be that person who runs to HR. And I don't want to be the reason your career suffers." Marcus pushed off the car and took Daniel's hands. "But we're not doing anything wrong. We disclosed everything. We're following the rules. If Sarah chooses to be petty, that's on her, not us." Daniel leaned his forehead against Marcus's shoulder. "This is exhausting." "I know, but you're not alone in this." That afternoon, Daniel returned to his wall-facing desk and completed every mindless task Sarah assigned him. Perfectly. Ahead of schedule. With detailed notes and documentation. By Wednesday, Sarah's attitude hadn't improved, but Daniel had found an unexpected ally. Emma from the original marketing team. "I heard what Sarah's doing," Emma said, appearing at Daniel's desk with coffee. "It's unprofessional. You're good at your job. Don't let her make you doubt that." "Thanks, Emma. Also, everyone knows you and Marcus are together." Daniel choked on his coffee. "What?" "Please. You two look at each other like romance novel characters. It's adorable. And before you panic, most people think it's sweet. You both seem happy. Sarah doesn't think it's sweet." Emma shrugged. "Sarah's territorial about her team. She'll get over it. Just keep doing good work and don't give her ammunition." The advice was solid. Daniel doubled down on professionalism. He arrived early, stayed late, and produced flawless work. He kept his relationship with Marcus completely separate from the office. No personal texts during work hours. No lingering looks during meetings. By Friday afternoon, Sarah called him into her office. "Sit," she said, not unkindly. Daniel sat, heart pounding. Sarah studied him for a long moment. "I owe you an apology." What? "I've been unprofessional this week. I took my frustration with the situation out on you, and that was wrong. You've done excellent work, and I've been giving you tasks beneath your skill level." "I don't understand." Sarah sighed. "Marcus and I have been friends for years. We started at this company together. When he asked if you could join my team, I agreed because I trusted his judgment. But then finding out you two were dating felt like a betrayal. Like he'd used our friendship to place his boyfriend on my team without telling me." "It wasn't like that," Daniel said quietly. "I transferred because I wanted to be with him without ethical complications. I earned my spot here. I know. I've been reviewing your work from Marcus's team. You're talented. And this week, despite me being difficult, you've maintained professionalism and quality. That says a lot about your character." Daniel didn't know what to say. "So here's what's going to happen," Sarah continued. "You're going to get real assignments, projects that challenge you, and I'm going to judge you solely on your merit, not your relationship status. But Daniel, if you ever use your relationship with Marcus to try to manipulate team decisions or undermine my authority, we're going to have a problem." "I would never. I know. I just needed to say it." She almost smiled. "Now get out of here and tell Marcus I'm still annoyed with him, but we're good." Daniel left her office feeling lighter than he had all week. He texted Marcus immediately. "Crisis averted. Sarah's backing off. I know. I heard her thoughts as she made the decision. She respects you, Daniel. You earned that." That evening, Daniel and Marcus celebrated with takeout at Marcus's apartment. They'd been careful not to be seen together outside of work, but the building's parking garage had private access, and Marcus's penthouse had floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. "To surviving office politics," Daniel said, raising his beer. "To you being amazing," Marcus countered. They clinked bottles and ate Thai food on the couch, Daniel's feet in Marcus's lap, an action movie playing on mute in the background. "Can I ask you something?" Daniel said eventually. "Always. Has the telepathy gotten better? You seem more in control lately." Marcus nodded. "My sister's therapy techniques are helping. I can filter now, choose what to listen to and what to block out. Most of the time. Most of the time? Strong emotions still break through, loud thoughts. But I can give you privacy now. Real privacy." Daniel set down his food and turned to face Marcus properly. "Thank you for that. I know it's your power and you can't always control it, but having some thoughts that are just mine, it matters. I know." Marcus's thumb traced circles on Daniel's ankle. "Daniel, there's something else I need to tell you." The serious tone made Daniel's stomach flip. "What?" "My company, the one I was consulting with about the telepathy. They think they've found others like me. People affected by the meteor shower. They want me to meet them, share experiences, maybe find better ways to control it. That's good, right? It means traveling, maybe for a few weeks, to their research facility upstate." "Oh." Daniel tried to hide his disappointment. "When?" "Next month. But Daniel, I don't have to go. If you need me here..." "No, you should go. This is important. You need to understand what's happening to you. Marcus pulled Daniel closer. I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss you too. But we'll video chat every night, and I'll be here when you get back. Promise? Promise. They kissed, slow and deep, the city lights twinkling outside the windows. Daniel tried not to think about the coming separation, about how much had changed in just a few weeks, about how scary it was to love someone this much. But Marcus heard it all anyway. I'm scared too, Marcus whispered against Daniel's lips. But Daniel, you're worth being scared for. Marcus had been gone for 12 days, and Daniel was losing his mind. Not because he couldn't handle being alone, he'd been single for years before Marcus, but because something felt wrong. Marcus's video calls had become shorter, more stilted. He seemed distracted, troubled by something he wouldn't explain. I'm fine, Marcus said for the third time that week. On the laptop screen, he looked tired, dark circles under his eyes. The research is just intense. What kind of research? They're running tests, trying to understand the telepathy. It's complicated. Marcus, you're shutting me out. I'm not. I'm just tired. Can we talk tomorrow? After the call ended, Daniel sat in his apartment feeling uneasy. Something was definitely wrong. The next morning, Daniel's phone rang at 6 a.m. Maya Chen's name flashed on the screen. Hello? Daniel, it's Maya, Marcus's sister. We met briefly at... I remember, is Marcus okay? That depends on your definition of okay. Maya's voice was tight with stress. Daniel, I need you to get up here. To the research facility. Something's happened. Daniel's blood ran cold. What happened? They lied. The company. They're not trying to help Marcus control his telepathy. They're trying to enhance it, study it. There are other telepaths here, but they're not volunteers. Some of them have been here for weeks, unable to leave. And Marcus just found out the treatment they've been giving him isn't therapy. It's experimental drugs. What? Daniel was already moving, grabbing clothes, his wallet. Is he in danger? Not physically, but Daniel. He's in bad shape mentally. He's hearing hundreds of thoughts at once now. The drugs amplified his range, but destroyed his ability to filter. He asked for you. You're the only person whose thoughts don't overwhelm him because he knows you so well. Text me the address. I'm coming right now. There's more. Maya hesitated. The company knows about you. They've been reading Marcus's thoughts since he arrived. They know you're his anchor, the person who grounds him. Daniel, they might try to use you to control him. I don't care. Just tell me where he is. The drive upstate took 3 hours. Daniel pushed his old car to its limits, his mind racing. Marcus was in trouble. Real trouble. And Daniel had been completely clueless, sitting at home while Marcus suffered. The research facility looked like a normal office building from outside. Clean, modern, completely ordinary. But when Daniel tried to enter, security stopped him. I'm here to see Marcus Chen. No visitors allowed. I'm his... What? Boyfriend sounded too casual, partner too formal. I'm family. His sister called me. Dr. Chen is not authorized to invite visitors. Daniel pulled out his phone and called Maya. They won't let me in. Hold on. 5 minutes later, Maya appeared in the lobby, wearing a white coat and an ID badge. He's with me, she told security. They didn't argue with her. Maya led Daniel through sterile hallways, past laboratories with complicated equipment. I got Marcus out of the testing ward, she said quietly. He's in a private room now, but Daniel, be prepared. He's not himself right now. What do you mean? The telepathy is out of control. He's hearing everyone. The scientists, the other test subjects, the security guards. It's like trying to listen to 100 radio stations at once. He can barely focus on his own thoughts. Maya stopped outside a door. Through the small window, Daniel could see Marcus sitting on a bed, head in his hands, shoulders tense. He knows you're here, Maya said. Your presence is already helping. Just go slow. Daniel entered the room. Marcus looked up, and the relief in his eyes was overwhelming. Daniel. Hey. Daniel approached carefully. Your sister said you needed me. I can't. There are too many voices. I can't filter them, but you, I know your thoughts. They're familiar. They help me focus. Daniel sat on the bed beside him. Then I'm here, for as long as you need. Marcus leaned against him, exhausted. I'm sorry. I should have told you what was happening, but they were in my head, hearing everything. I was trying to protect you. From what? From this place. These people. They don't want to help telepaths, Daniel. They want to weaponize us, turn us into tools for corporate espionage, government surveillance. When I figured it out, I tried to leave, but they won't let us go. They say it's for our own safety, but it's a lie. Daniel wrapped his arms around Marcus. Then we're leaving. Tonight. How? Security is everywhere. I don't know yet. But Marcus, I didn't drive 3 hours just to leave you here. Maya appeared in the doorway. I might have an idea. She explained quickly. The facility had 2 types of subjects. The telepaths like Marcus and the control group. People without powers being tested to see if they could develop abilities. The control group had more freedom, could leave for supervised outings. I can get you listed as a control subject, Maya told Daniel. Then tomorrow, during the supervised outing to town, you and Marcus switch places. He leaves in your spot. I'll cover for you until he's safely away. What about you? Marcus asked. They'll know you helped. I'm quitting anyway. This place is unethical. I've been documenting everything. Once you're out, I'm going to blow the whistle on this whole operation. Daniel looked at Marcus. Will it work? If we're careful. If I can hold myself together long enough. Marcus gripped Daniel's hand. But Daniel, if we're caught, they might not let you leave either. Then we won't get caught. That night, Daniel slept in a chair beside Marcus's bed. Throughout the night, Marcus would wake from nightmares, not dreams, but the thoughts of others bleeding into his sleep. Each time, Daniel was there, holding his hand, grounding him with familiar presence. Tell me something, Marcus whispered during one of these moments, something only you would think. Daniel considered. I've been imagining our future, a small house with a garden, 2 cats named after philosophers, Sunday mornings where we make pancakes and read the newspaper. Nothing dramatic, just us, together, safe. Marcus smiled, the first real smile Daniel had seen since arriving. That sounds perfect. We're going to have that. I promise. The next morning, they executed the plan. Daniel was registered as a control subject. He was given a visitor badge and included in the supervised outing, a trip to the nearby town for lunch and supplies. At the restaurant, Marcus and Daniel slipped into the bathroom. They swapped clothes, IDs, or in appearances as best they could. Marcus wore Daniel's jacket and baseball cap. Daniel wore Marcus's sweater and glasses. You look terrible in my clothes, Marcus said, trying to joke. You look perfect in mine. They kissed quickly, desperately. Go, Daniel said. The car is parked 2 blocks east. Keys in the right pocket. Drive to your sister's place and wait for me. Daniel, I'll be fine. Maya will get me out. But you need to leave now. Marcus hesitated. One more moment, then left. Daniel watched through the bathroom window as Marcus walked past the security guard, head down, completely unnoticed. He'd made it. Daniel returned to the group. The outing continued. Back at the facility, he went to Marcus's room and stayed there, keeping the door locked. 3 hours later, Maya came for him. Marcus made it out. He's safe. Now, we need to get you out before they realize what happened. How? I'm discharging you. You showed no telepathic development, so you're free to leave. It's all documented. She handed him official-looking papers. Walk out the front door. Don't run. Act normal. Daniel's heart pounded as he walked through the facility, past the laboratories, past the testing rooms, past security. Have a good day, the guard said, barely looking up. Daniel made it to the parking lot, to Maya's car. She drove him 2 towns over where Marcus was waiting at a diner, Daniel's car parked outside. They ran to each other. Marcus pulled Daniel into a fierce embrace. You did it, Marcus said. You actually did it. We did it. Together. Maya approached them. You two need to disappear for a while. I'm going to the authorities with my evidence. But until this place is shut down, they might come looking for Marcus. Where do we go? I have a friend with a cabin upstate. Different state. Off the grid. You can hide there until this blows over. Marcus looked at Daniel. Are you okay with this? Leaving your job, your life? Daniel kissed him. My life is wherever you are. The cabin was small, rustic, and perfect. Surrounded by pine trees, miles from the nearest town, completely isolated. For 2 weeks, Daniel and Marcus lived like they were the only people in the world. Marcus's telepathy gradually returned to manageable levels. Without the experimental drugs, his ability to filter returned. He could choose what to hear, could give Daniel complete mental privacy when needed. It's like learning to control a muscle, Marcus explained one morning over coffee on the porch. The drugs forced it to always be flexed. Now I can relax it. So, you're not hearing my thoughts right now? Not unless you want me to. Daniel grinned. Good. Because I was thinking some very inappropriate things about what we could do today. Marcus raised an eyebrow. Oh, really? Thought you couldn't hear me? I can't. But your face is very expressive. They spent the morning in bed, lazy and warm and completely in love. The afternoon found them hiking through the woods, hands linked, discussing the future. Maya called that evening. The facility's been raided. FBI got involved. Turns out they were funded by several corporations looking to develop telepaths for industrial espionage. It's a huge scandal. You're safe to come home. What about the other telepaths? Marcus asked. Being released and provided with actual support. Real therapy, not experiments. You helped save a lot of people, Marcus. After the call, Marcus was quiet. What are you thinking? Daniel asked. That we could stay here, off the grid, away from everything. Is that what you want? Marcus considered. Part of me does. But Daniel, I have a company to run. Employees depending on me. And you have a career. We can't hide forever. Then we don't hide. We go back. We face whatever comes. Together. 2 days later, they returned to the city. The office buzzed with rumors about Marcus's disappearance and dramatic return. HR had questions. The board had questions. The media had questions. Marcus handled it all with composure, releasing a statement about the unethical research facility and his cooperation with authorities. He didn't mention the telepathy that remained secret, known only to Daniel, Maya, and a small circle of trust. Daniel returned to Sarah's team. She pulled him aside his first day back. "I heard you helped Marcus escape some kind of research facility," she said. "I did. That was either very brave or very stupid. Probably both." Sarah smiled slightly. "Well, I'm glad you're both safe. And Daniel, I owe you another apology. I've been doing some thinking while you were gone, about how I treated you, about my assumptions. You've proven you're here on merit, not connections, so I'm giving you the Brennan account." Daniel's eyes widened. The Brennan account was huge, a career-making project. "You're giving this to me? You've earned it. Don't make me regret it." Daniel threw himself into the project with renewed energy. He worked with his team, presented ideas to clients, and slowly built a reputation separate from being Marcus's boyfriend. He was Daniel Park, talented marketer, creative thinker, valuable team member. Marcus and Daniel bought a small house outside the city. Not the imaginary one from Daniel's fantasy, but close. A cozy 2-bedroom with a garden. They adopted one cat, a gray tabby they named Socrates. "Where's the second philosopher cat?" Marcus asked as Socrates climbed onto his lap. "We'll get there eventually." Life settled into a comfortable rhythm. Work during the week, quiet evenings at home, weekend adventures exploring the area. Marcus's telepathy became just another part of their relationship, like Daniel's tendency to overthink or Marcus's perfectionism. One evening, 6 months after the facility incident, Marcus came home with a nervous energy about him. "What's wrong?" Daniel asked from the kitchen where he was attempting to cook dinner. "Nothing's wrong. I have something to ask you." "Okay." Marcus pulled a small box from his pocket. "Daniel Park, will you marry me?" Daniel dropped the spatula. "I know it's fast." Marcus continued, words tumbling out. "I know we've only been together for less than a year, but I've been inside your head. I know exactly who you are. All your fears, your hopes, your dreams. And I love every part of you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. So will you?" "Yes." Daniel crossed the kitchen in 3 steps and kissed him. "Yes, absolutely, of course, yes." Marcus slipped the ring onto Daniel's finger. It was simple, elegant, perfect. "I wasn't sure you'd say yes," Marcus admitted. "How could you not be sure? You can read my mind." "I've been blocking your thoughts for the past week. I wanted to be surprised." Daniel laughed, then cried, then laughed again. "I love you so much." "I love you too." They ordered takeout because Daniel had completely forgotten about dinner. They called Maya, who screamed with excitement. They told their friends, their families, their colleagues. Sarah congratulated them professionally at work, then hugged Daniel fiercely when no one was looking. "You deserve this happiness," she said. "Both of you." The wedding was small, just close friends and family. Maya officiated. Daniel's sister cried through the entire ceremony. Marcus's parents, initially skeptical about their son marrying a man he'd met at work, were won over by Daniel's genuine kindness and terrible jokes. "Do you take this man?" Maya asked Marcus. "To love and cherish in sickness and health, even when he's thinking embarrassing thoughts you can't unhear?" "I do," Marcus said, grinning. "And do you take this man?" Maya asked Daniel. to love and cherish, even when he knows every secret you've ever had. I do, Daniel said, meaning it with every fiber of his being. They kissed as husbands, and the small crowd cheered. At the reception, Emma cornered them. I knew it from the start, she declared. The way you two looked at each other. You were obvious. We were not obvious, Daniel protested. You were incredibly obvious. Marcus squeezed Daniel's hand. I heard her thoughts back then. She's not wrong. Stop reading people's minds at our wedding. I'm not. That was a memory. They danced, ate cake, celebrated with people they loved. And when the night ended and they drove home to their small house and their one philosopher cat, Daniel thought about how far they'd come. From fantasies that motivated him through boring work tasks, to the terrifying discovery that Marcus could hear everything, to running from an unethical research facility, to this, a real marriage, a real life, a real future together. What are you thinking? Marcus asked as they lay in bed that night, still wearing parts of their wedding attire because they'd been too eager to properly undress. That this is better than any fantasy I ever had, Daniel said. Even the elaborate ones. Even the one where we solve a murder mystery together. Especially that one. Because this is real. You're real. We're real. Marcus pulled him closer. Thank you for not running away when you found out about the telepathy. Thank you for not running away when you heard all my embarrassing thoughts. I could never run from you. Your thoughts are my favorite thing to hear. Even when I'm thinking about what to have for breakfast. Even then, especially then. Because it means you're here, in my life, thinking about ordinary things while planning our future. Daniel kissed his husband. His husband, the word still felt surreal and wonderful. I love you, Daniel said. I know, Marcus replied, smiling. I can hear it in your thoughts, loud and clear. Good, because I'm going to be thinking it for the rest of our lives. And he did. Years later, when people asked how they met, Daniel would smile and say, I fantasized about him until he finally noticed me. Marcus would add, and I heard every word. And they'd laugh because the story was ridiculous and impossible and completely true. A romance that started with daydreams and telepathy and ended with a love that was real in every way that mattered. They got a second cat eventually, named her Plato. Like she and Socrates fought constantly, but couldn't stand to be apart, much like Daniel and Marcus in those early days of their relationship. The house got a bigger garden. Daniel wrote his novel. Marcus started playing piano again, filling their home with music. And sometimes, when Daniel was having a hard day, he'd close his eyes and fantasize about Marcus. Not elaborate scenarios anymore, but simple ones. Marcus bringing him coffee. Marcus reading beside him. Marcus existing in the same space, solid and real in his. And Marcus, who could still hear thoughts when he chose to, would smile and appear with exactly what Daniel needed. Because that's what love was. Not just hearing someone, but truly listening. Not just knowing someone, but truly understanding. Not just fantasizing about someone, but building a real life with them, day by day, thought by thought, moment by moment. And they lived happily ever after, thoughts, telepathy, and all.